We got dancers in Fort Wayne. I'm about to show y'all.
Anti-Afro Spengalis, listen, no matter what you hear from this point forward, remember, this is about the money. Who knows what who knows what Umar Johnson will do next for money. Keep that in mind as you listen to this video. This is a must that I came on here to talk to you about a very bizarre occurrence or occurrences in these YouTube streets. Here you have the YouTube uploader or uploaders, and I can't take credit for that phrase. I got that from Conscious TV, but it is true. There is a difference between a content creator and a YouTube uploader. Now, we have these YouTube uploaders coming out of the woodwork, trying their hardest, not only trying to rewrite history, trying to reinvent themselves as if they've held on to a righteous position from the start. No, they were not righteous from the start. They were engaging in criminal conduct. So what they're trying to do now, the character hijacking, they're trying to reverse everything. Now they're saying that I make money off Umar Johnson. Now, we're a couple of people kind of throw that in here and there, but now the YouTube uploaders who are reinventing themselves are trying to restructure their position on Umar Johnson, now trying to switch places with me, with AFW, with Gerald, with our loyal friends and supporters who've been doing the same thing the whole time. We've always told you what Umar Johnson was about, but now the YouTube uploaders want to try and say that I'm making money off Umar Johnson. No, the YouTube uploaders are the ones that ran their Cash App or whatever money app that they had on the screen the whole time they were talking about Umar Johnson. But now I'm the one that's making money off Umar Johnson, and or I am the one who has been making money off Umar Johnson. They're trying to put themselves in a position to be honorable and righteous when they never were. Not only were they running their cash apps and all their other money apps, they were paying flunkies to engage in criminal behavior targeted towards me, towards Gerald, towards AFW friends and supporters. But now the YouTube uploaders want to legitimize themselves and take a stand against Umar Johnson, acting like they've always been so down with the truth. They never cared about the truth. But here is the situation which has always been the case. Umar Johnson has always been desperate to find a way to make money because the scams don't last forever. He's scheduling more and more hyena yelps now because he's desperate to make sure the money continues to come in. It is no secret, folks, that the focus was never on any freaking school. Now, one thing people don't even want to think about, Umar Johnson has never taken you all into that one building. And why is that? Because the place is gutted out. There was a fire at the school before Umar Johnson supposedly bought it. The place is completely destroyed by fire. So he's up here collecting money for a so-called school, which is, we know, an abandoned bomb shelter with a burned out building that Umar won't take you into. There was a fire and there was never any repair. We have the fire marshal's report, people. There was a fire in that building. It took them several hours to put it out. It was never repaired. That is why Umar has never taken you in there. And then he's running around in a gym where water is all over the place. Now we know this has all occurred as far as the gym, and he's still collecting money. But people who want to be front and center, trying to make it appear as they're doing something righteous, respectable, have to try and now put us in their position when all they were into was the money and the threats and the harassment, trying to get Umar Johnson's attention any way they could by attacking us. When that didn't work, now they're trying to put themselves in our position as if they're speaking the truth on Umar. They never cared about the truth. They never cared anything about Umar Johnson perping as a mental health professional. Now they're complaining about it? What, are you serious? They signed on to it. They defended Umar Johnson. They know he never had a license. So now they're trying to put themselves, I will repeat, in our position. The YouTube uploaders are not bringing you any content. The YouTube uploaders cannot stand to go 5 minutes unless they're talking about who. What kind of content is that? You don't have your own content. Your content is focused on who? Talking shit about me, talking shit about Gerald, talking shit about anti-fraud warriors, telling lies on our friends and supporters. They're freaking bored. These YouTube uploaders don't have anything they can contribute. They want to be involved with this Umar Johnson situation, but they have no position to assume because the other position they assumed, they saw that wasn't successful. We burned them out. They have no energy left. They can't handle the fact that we were ready to defend ourselves, and we did just that. And we're not done. We have Let Me See Your Handcuffs running around here crying and screaming and whining because she doesn't want to be held accountable. Too bad, Let Me See Your Handcuffs. You should have thought about that before you attacked all of us. You attacked every single one of us, and you tried to get me on the beat down. I'll deal with that in another video. You all know what you tried to do failed. So you're trying to reinvent yourselves and your raggedy ass channels as if you're doing something that's respectable, wholesome, and pure. They don't want to think about all the shit that they did on their channels. These YouTube uploaders, they don't want you talking about that. And the nerve to sit here and say, I made money off Umar. Nobody can ever say I took a single solitary rusty penny anywhere on social media. And hey, if you're making money on social media, make money on social media. That's your business. But don't say I made money on social media when they know good and damn well I never took a single dime about anything related to Umar Johnson or anything on YouTube or any social media platform. Stop your bullshit lies. You drew a line in the sand long ago when you went after families, when you went after children, when you attacked people who didn't do anything to you other than come onto YouTube and speak the truth. A truth that was so intolerable that they had to figure out a way to try to frighten people by threatening to rape people, threatening to assault their children, speaking sexually about their children, saying they're going to throw their kids out windows. These people are disgusting. It's sickening that they really think they're going to get away with what they're doing. They're not going to get away with it. They will not get away with all the crap that they have done in trying to reinvent themselves and act as though they have some information they're bringing to everybody that is new and it's insightful. And look at me because now I have this position on Umar Johnson that he's a scammer. Umar was always a scammer. What else is new? Question is, what the hell are you going to do about it? See, that's where we stand alone. We are different. We are taking a stand to the point where we are engaging the legal system because what Umar Johnson is doing is dead ass wrong, people. You cannot be running around here for 10, 11, 12 years lying to a community about building a school and doing that by using fake titles, knowing good and damn well he will get people to believe him that he holds a title. And when people believe you hold a title that you say you are so important, they're going to be more likely to give you money and believe what you say. That's the bottom line. Whatever you're professing to a person, it doesn't even need to be a title, just an area of expertise or knowledge that they believe that you have. And you can convince them you have that based on what? Whatever tangible you are offering, but you're not showing it. You're going to get paid for doing that. And this is a scam that Umar Johnson continues to run. But he's now getting frustrated because he has all these agencies breathing down his neck. He's not telling you all that's going on, people. Umar's not going to tell you anything until the very last minute. That's why Umar's running around here desperate for money to the point he'll just take any interview. He's taking rinky-dink interviews for pay as long as they're canned. Umar's always had canned interviews. There's nothing new, nothing innovative about that. This is no surprise. And true to form, Umar Johnson just gets on there and starts rambling with the buzzwords and the buzz phrases. And he knows there is going to be money resulting from that. But this is not sustainable, people. It's not sustainable for a lifestyle, because that's what Umar Johnson uses the money for. He uses the money to support himself. None of this is new. There are new elements that we, AFW, brought into this, and our work resulted in Umar Johnson getting that cease and desist letter. I don't give a damn what anybody says. That was our work. That is what you call progress. This is progress. K through 12. Umar Johnson can't get into K through 12 unless he runs some raggedy ass scheme with a female at the school to get him through the back door. Even with colleges and universities, it is not easy to get on like Umar Johnson was getting on before. He can run a bunch of lies and tell the student groups, which he always goes through student groups. He never goes through faculty. He never goes through academic affairs. This is someone who supposedly has a doctorate degree, dealing exclusively with student groups, getting $2,500 for speaking engagements when he should be getting $5,000 and $10,000 up if he says he has a doctorate degree. I know exactly what they get paid. Professors don't go through student groups to get paid. Typically, students will ask speakers to come, and those speakers will come and meet with the students as their invitation from faculty. It is not common that you have someone with a supposed doctorate degree who will only work with student groups, because Umar Johnson knows he's a fraud. The scams are running out. The child support court is not playing around. They actually had arrest warrants going for Umar Johnson. They are not playing. They want him to show income. But Umar Johnson just wants to get going around the United States to make a living, going into all these hyena yelps and screaming and hollering about what's wrong with our society with no solution. And it's even more disgusting how Umar Johnson's credentials, alleged credentials, are not even updated. So he's running around here talking about all these issues, special education. His continuing ed training is not current, and still talking about I'm a therapist and a psychologist. No, he is not. And that's a whole new round of issues that's going on. You have to know it was the Board of Psychology that went after Umar Johnson. The Department of Ed never went after Umar Johnson. And that is something that's new altogether. He's violating all types of laws. Umar Johnson cannot even practice privately as a school psychologist because his continuing education units are lapsed. So he's engaging in illegal practice, running these workshops, but that's okay. He's going to have to answer to that. You can't run scams on the community and say you have a right. No, you do not have a right to run scams. And stop all this bullshit about only people who paid and gave donations, monetary donations, because you can give donations, material goods can be donations. Specifically, those around here saying only those who paid Umar money have a right to ask and get answers. That is a lie. Go back and take some classes in government and civics. Go do that. Take some business classes. Elevate your mind and your knowledge. This is a public right to ask and demand answers. And if you don't get those answers, you do what we did. We went, requested that this be investigated. Now, did we do it today and then the next day they said yes? No. We did what we always said we were doing. What I posted videos on. Here is the information. If you have a concern, if you find this objectionable, outrageous, that somebody is running around for God knows how many years, 10, 11, 12 years, with fake titles and professing to open a school when you give me enough money, and damn you, I don't have enough money because you didn't give me enough, and I'm a psychologist and I'm a therapist and I'm all this bullshit. There is a way to deal with that, but we know what happens when we're dealing with their own people. It's called affinity fraud. They think they have a right to tell us we have to shut up in response to their fraudulent bullshit. And there are many of us who never buy into that and never will. What Umar Johnson is doing is dangerous. It's worse in many ways than it was before. And I will go into another video about the specifics about the mental health and the special education piece, where Umar Johnson, in one respect, has absolutely no qualifications to be speaking about mental health issues as an expert. And then in the other respect, he's up here talking about special ed and his continuing ed units are lapsed. That shows that you don't have the proper training. You have to continue to elevate your knowledge. That is a requirement of every licensed person, every person that holds a certificate. If you're not even going to do 35 hours in 5 years, Umar Johnson couldn't even pull that off because he doesn't give a damn. He was only worried and concerned about traveling around and getting money to survive. Well, he's going to have to find another way, because this is at the end of the line, people. There will be no new scams that Umar Johnson's going to get an explosion on. Umar Johnson runs around acting the fool, and he wants you to pay him for it. Now, let me tell you what Umar Johnson's doing now. Now he's charging $100. $100 for hyena yelps. He really thinks people are going to pay $100 to get in there? See, he's desperate. He is desperate. He needs the money, and he's hoping at least 5 people will come. That's $500. 6 people, 7. Umar Johnson is trying to find a new scam that will work. It is not going to work. This crap is over. It's just a matter of time, people. Now, you know I have so much more I'm going to be bringing you. In the meantime, you know the drill. Buyer beware.